Yeah.
Hey guys, Happy Conscious Gal here. I just have some really exciting news and I have to let you know about it. But before I tell you the exciting news, I have to show you something funny. Check out this top. See how it like boofs out to the side? It makes me look like I've got hips. In actual fact, since I lost 50 pounds on HCG, I don't have any hips. But this makes me look really curvy. It's why I like it. Look, see how it boofs out? Boofs out. It's quite funny. And I was thinking about it today, like, you know, all my life I've had to dress strategically to look slim. You know, we're slimming things. You would never wear something that boofs out in your hips when you're overweight. You know, I've always worn stuff with long lines, slim lines. And yet now I'm buying clothes to kind of make me look curvier. I thought, very interesting, and I think it's a good problem to have. You know, I'd rather have this problem than the other one. So it's just making me realize how far I've come on this amazing HCG journey. So it's very exciting. I'm going to show you the full outfit with the hilarious Ugg boots just for your amusement, and then I'm going to tell you my exciting news. Yes, it's winter here in Australia now. I'm wearing my Ugg boots, and they are so warm. Thank you, Ugg boot inventors. So I'm about to tell you my exciting news, but before I do, I just want to give you a little recap because it's been about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks since my last vlog, and I know you're all wanting to see how I'm going now. I've finished my HCG journey. Am I keeping the weight off? So I'm going to give you a super brief, very quick update so we can get on to the exciting news. So basically, the quick update is
I went back to Melbourne where I grew up for my 40th birthday / engagement party odyssey, which went for many days, lots of parties, lots of events. It was incredibly overwhelming. I was staying in the suburb that I lived when I was a child, which brought up all sorts of memories, and I realised how far I've come in my personal journey, my personal development, my personal growth, and it was a real psychic shock coming back to that old place with those old conservative people, and as a result my body actually got sick, and I spent the next 10 days in bed with the flu, which is why I have no voice, which wasn't the way I really planned to spend that time, but it was very interesting. As a result of that, I then spent the next week in bed here recovering, so it was nearly 3 weeks in total sick, and I couldn't move or exercise, so my weight went up a little bit, but now that I'm better, it's starting to come back down, and once again, it's confirmation to me that I'm just a normal person now. If I get sick or I get stressed, my weight goes up, and when I get healthy again, my weight goes down, and it's still, across the board, if I look at the average, it's still very stable.
So that's my update. HCG works, living proof. So now for the exciting news. I have today published my second HCG book on Amazon. Very exciting. Check it out. So basically, this is the book that I spent 6 months writing. It has taken so long. I know I kept telling you it was going to be ready next week, but it just took so long to write because the book goes really deep. Book 1, as you know, those of you who have read it, Mindset Magic, is all about how to prepare your mindset, get yourself psychologically ready so you don't have any limiting beliefs or limiting fears getting in the way, so you know what your core motivation is, so you're really managing your goals. You know, it's all the mindset stuff. It's so important. I've had so many people write me emails how much that book has helped them get their head ready for HCG. So if you haven't read it yet, go and read it. Read it first. Read it before you read the other ones. It's the first thing you have to read. After you've done that, you've done the processes in that, then go and read the second book. The second book for me is the most deep, powerful book in the whole series of 7 that I'm writing. It is the core stuff. That's why I didn't write it first. I think you need a bit of a preparation beforehand in the psychological area to get your mindset right, and then go and do the emotional work. The emotional work is the serious work, because the reality is you cannot keep your weight off unless you've sorted out the emotional issues that caused you to put your weight on in the first place. And if you are being driven by the urge to cheat and do emotional eating and cheer yourself up with food and squash your feelings with food and run from your fears with food, it doesn't matter how great the HCG hormone is, you will not be able to resist the urge to eat. And I just get so many people writing to me saying, you know, I'm doing everything I can, I've got the best of intentions, but I keep having this urge to eat, I don't know where it's coming from. And it's because they haven't dealt with the underlying emotional stuff. And that's why so many people do HCG. They have spectacular success, and then they put the weight back on, and a year later they have to do it again because they haven't addressed the underlying stuff. And also, if you haven't addressed the underlying emotional stuff, then when you're on HCG, it's more challenging because you're tempted all the time. And in my journey, which, you know, you guys watched over the course of a year, I had to look deep at my emotional stuff. I had to look at what were my childhood beliefs? What was my childhood programming around my self-image, my body image? Did I think of myself as a big person or a small person? I had to look at how I deal with my feelings. Do I squash my feelings by eating? Do I deal with fears by eating? Do I deal with feeling lonely by eating? I had to look at all of that. I looked deeply at all of that. You guys know because you watch my vlogs. And I also cover in this second book things like really training yourself in emotional areas, like learning how to set boundaries, learning how to say no, learning how to manage your energy, learning how to balance your masculine and feminine energy. So it's a very deep book. I have, just like in book one, I've included a lot of processes in the book because I really believe that just reading ideas does not change things for people. You need to read the ideas and then do a process that actually helps you integrate and implement those ideas so that then they become real for you. So every time I make a point in the book, I follow it up with a process that you need to do. You know, maybe you're going to draw a graph of your body weight over the years and map when it went up and when it went down and see what the triggers were. Why do you always gain weight every time a boy breaks up with you? Why do you always lose weight when you're surrounded by friends? You know, you'll start to see a whole lot of interesting patterns. I teach you processes on how to deal with your feelings, how to deal with anger, how to say no. All sorts of processes that actually mean that by the time you've read the book, when you get a feeling come up in you, you won't have to turn to food because you will have actually practiced how to deal with those feelings and move them out of you in a healthy way without needing to eat. So I'm very proud of this second book. I really, really, really want everyone to read it because it is gold. That's why it took me 6 months to write. I drew everything out of me from my entire life to put in this book. I'm selling it for next to nothing. It's not going to make a huge amount of profit. I just want to get it to people because I can't watch these people come on their vlogs and say I've gained all the weight back. I'm like, ugh. If you just looked at the underlying stuff that caused you to get fat in the first place, then when you finish HCG, you'll be able to stay slim. So please do yourself a favor, read that book, and then do everyone else a favor, and after you've read it, tell other people about it, because you guys know I don't have a publicity machine. This is just me in my apartment writing these little books, making my own book covers, putting them up on Amazon by myself. I don't have a team. I'm too busy with the rest of my life to get a team. It's not my full-time job, HCG stuff. I'm not trying to make a business out of HCG. I'm just doing it to give this information to people because it helped me lose 50 pounds and keep it off, you know. So I now have to buy baggy things to give myself hips because I got so skinny. So I want other people to have that feeling of success on their weight loss journey, and I don't have a publicity machine. So the first book, hardly anyone's read it. Maybe 100 people have read it, and that's criminal because there's thousands of people doing the HCG journey, thousands of people who need to get their mindset ready before they do it, and maybe 100 people have read it. So you guys are probably the 100 people. So I'm asking you now with the second book to actually get the word out. You know, if you are a vlogger, talk about it in your vlogs. Just talk about it. I'm reading this book. I just read chapter 3. It's so interesting. It's really confronting. Oh God, it's making me look at stuff. Wow, I never thought about this before. You know, whatever your reaction is, just get out there and talk about it in your vlogs. If you're on Facebook, Facebook about it. If you're on MyFitnessPal, post about it in MyFitnessPal. If you're someone who goes on the HCG forums, no one on the forums knows about my books because I don't use HCG forums, so it's just not a medium that I'm on, so they don't know about it. So there's thousands of people struggling with emotional eating and cheating and their mindset and lack of motivation, and they could be helped by reading these books. So please get the word out. I'm really asking you to. It's not for my sake, it's for the sake of all those people out there who need the help. So I'm asking you guys to be a kind of army of spreading the word. Get the word out. So you'll be helping a lot of people. Alright guys, see ya!